Breaking the Cycle with Simply Ann. Another episode 2026 where we will be talking about what happened to us as we pass through life, as we've been through trauma, pain, and all these things that happen to many of us through life. And many of us don't stop, think, pause to really pay attention what happened to us in the inside, in a man, that make us now become somebody else, that make us take actions, make us think certain way, speak certain way, and sometimes through life, because of that, we end up in big, big trouble. So tonight on Breaking the Cycle, we're gonna have a conversation many avoid. But in this society, in the season that we're in, we must break the cycle. We must talk about things that we really don't talk about. So the tonight episode is simply what happens to a young man sentenced 19 years for prison. You spend 11 years in prison and about 4 months behind bars. And what incarceration can do to the mind, the body, and the soul. And oftentimes people go to prison, we don't really pay attention to the emotions and the mind of someone that is human, that is our family member, brother, uncle, and sisters. They're real human beings behind prison. And then after years of being in survival mode, in isolation, pain, abuse, I mean, all kinds of stuff can go behind bars. So help me welcome Alesco Violenes. He's here tonight with us to share his journey from prison as he entered as a young man, as a boy, should we say that? And then he came out of prison as a man. Many call him Lexi. Lexi, good night.
And
Welcome to Breaking the Cycle.
thank you. Thank you for having me.
And are you excited? We're gonna go deep in some conversation.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
And many know no, should I call you Alesco or should I call
Doesn't matter.
Lexi? It doesn't
It
matter,
doesn't
Lexi. Call you Lexi tonight. And tonight we just want to talk about prison. We're gonna go right into it. Before we start, share this. Remember, TV 15 every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Call someone, send, share. Remember to check us back on Breaking the Cycle on YouTube. You can watch this episode. It's a very important episode for another young man out there that perhaps have a long sentence, perhaps just came out trying to fit in back in society, or someone that is kind of leaning to, if he doesn't touch himself, he might fall in the hands of justice.
exactly.
Lexi, you went to prison.
That's it.
You sat years. Physically, maybe physically, but not mentally present. Let's start with that journey. What happened that landed a young man into the hands of justice? Or let me go like this. What could have been avoided that this young man that you know now could have avoided to end up in prison? It's kind of twofold question. A whole lot I asked there.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Hmm.
You gotta rewind a little bit. Gotta bring
Yeah,
it back because
because it's a while.
you
It's a
gotta unravel.
while.
You gotta unravel a
It's a
lot. So
while. Yeah.
me becoming a product of my environment,
Wow.
growing up in Birchwater at a very young age, it's like we was destined to be there, but then we know for a fact that we're not supposed to be here, but this was our only option, our
Yeah.
parents' only option. So
Yeah.
this is what we have to work with. So um just fast forward a bit, just going back into my household,
Hmm.
basically, it was basically a rough upbringing. I'm the eldest of 5 kids,
Okay.
and we went through some phases. It's I added in the book as well. I went through the steps with my stepfather and his abusive drinking
Ah,
and what it did to the family on a whole, and so that basically led me going to being on the road at a young age. So trying to avoid the nagging and the cussing, the yelling and screaming every night.
wow. And what
You
is a
know,
young age for you?
9, 10,
Wow.
11. Not basically, I ain't saying we on the block at that age, but
Yeah.
you start to be outside now. You
Yeah.
start to be outside a bit later, you know. playing with friends late night, you start to realize now it's 10:30,
Mm.
11 o'clock, and
Wow.
still outside. Nobody is searching for you.
Wow.
Nobody. I was like, okay, they outside, so
So nine
we come
become
home
10, 10 become 11.
11. Next thing you know, as you get older now, you realize you're 13, 14, or
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning,
Wow. And
you
nobody
know,
checking.
nobody checking on you, 14, 15, you sneaking in a reggae cafe at the time. Like, so another part of the question, there was no guidance basically.
Yeah.
You know, Parents did what they could, but with the time, work, having to come home and still deal with 5 kids, like you're exhausted.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if you, I know where you is somewhere around there, it's safe basically. But it comes to a point where a child can start to stray further and further. The less you start to look, the further they start to stray.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And that's what a lot of parents don't do nowadays, which is really check on their kids.
Yeah.
You understand? So
Well, that's a great point you said here.
yeah, because they don't have the time to do
Yeah.
it. And the little time that they have, they basically come home half an hour, get ready to go to another job. So who was the kid?
Yeah. Your mother
Who
had
was the
two
parent?
jobs.
No, she worked one job, um, but she did what she could,
Yeah.
basically. Right, she didn't do two,
Yeah.
But that's what led me to be outside and run with, I wouldn't say a rough crowd, because we all grew up together. The guys, we came up with, we all run in the same circle as children,
Yeah.
and then we went into the stages, basically. So
Yeah.
we went from playing marbles, setting up bicycles, falling out of trees, to riding scooters, being on a racetrack, stealing cars, armed robberies, prison.
Yeah. Got you.
That's the time skip I just gave you of my life, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, and they have that makes good moments in between there, but is the part that I did already see or I saw. I was spiraling down and I was like, you know what? It's not too late to stop,
Mm-hmm.
but it's when you get a taste of fast money.
Oh, wow. This is a great
So
conversation.
it would start from petty crime, go in the shop, take some stuff. Wow, we get away, no consequences. So from then on, you stop thinking about consequences. And that is where you cross the line. But from the moment you stop processing that, hey, okay, I do this, what's gonna happen after? What could be the outcome?
Mhm.
You don't know, but at least you think about it. But at that time, you're young, you was just thinking, oh, we got the goods, we got away. Let's do it again
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Nobody catch us.
Let's do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. Boom. Got arrested at 15.
Yeah.
I got held for questioning. They held me for about a week,
Okay.
and then I was released. But that week felt very long. At that age of 15, that was a very long 7 days, because everything that happened after that, I think, led me on the path that I was heading to prison
Wow.
at some point. So,
So it was not an awakening.
if I'm being honest with you, from a child, I was very curious.
Okay.
So, I guess at some point, I know I had to walk that journey, to walk that path, but I didn't know what the outcome would be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Today, I know now.
Mm.
But walking that path at the time, it was like, I could stop, but somebody
It's
coming
sweet.
in
Yeah,
good.
it
Some of them
feels
you
sweet.
go club, everybody got a couple grand in their pocket. Time you come, you got like $200. Hit the road tonight again. Do the same thing every day. Until one day, your number going play.
Mm-hmm.
And all the consequences that you didn't think about you can have the time to think about it.
Mhm.
If you don't realize, don't wait like me until it's too late when you later in your adult years now to realize like at that point I could have stopped. Why didn't I?
Yeah.
And now you leave starting to question your own self and your own actions now. So you literally sitting and you learn to look at yourself from a third person
Mhm,
point of view.
mhm, mhm.
So I could have sit back while in prison and watch myself go through my prison process. I could rewind it like it was yesterday, right now.
Yeah, yeah. I have to ask you this question, because this is breaking the cycle. So we want to go deep to actually what caused it. And for someone tonight that is watching to help them, perhaps not themselves that is in it, but to be able to predict someone that is heading that way, that we can stop it. You said you saw majority of the boys that were in that group gang, we don't want to call it gang, the environment, that's the correct word to
Yes.
say it, all in the young age going to the faces, playing with marbles and so forth and so forth. Would you say that all of these young boys had the same problem at home? Dysfunctioning, dysfunction home, neglect, absent parent, a parent working so hard that do not even notice, some form of poverty, some form of lack. What would you identify now that you are adults out of prison that we can actually say, check, check, all had in common?
Everyone had you could say basically a parent from the same generation at that time that went through the same hardships, the same struggles, the same can't
Yeah,
pay the bills, the
yeah.
same perhaps some some of my friends' mom had three jobs,
Mm.
and they basically all did what they could, but it was out of their control because they got comfortable in a system where it was like, you know what, this is all I can do.
Survive.
I am comfortable here. This is where we're going to stay.
Yeah.
They never pick up and say, you know what? Some did. Some of the guys they got out from a young age. Their mom left. They went to Holland. Some went to the States. Some of them actually got out. You know,
And did not fall through the
and
cracks.
didn't fall through the cracks because they left at a very young age.
Okay.
But majority of the parents today, they all have the same thing in common. And well, I'm talking about my
It,
generation.
yeah, yeah.
They all had the same thing in common. And like I said, it was out of their control. They got so comfortable being on the hamster wheel day in, day out. They forgot about the reality around them, which was the actual another life that was growing right in
Yeah.
front of them. But with everything that they was going through, probably the system put on them, rather emotionally, physically, spiritually, they did what they could
Yeah.
in order to keep the lights on,
Mm.
water running, food in the fridge, even if it's just a bread.
Yeah. Yeah. So we discussed this on the show with various guests. And this is what we're talking about, neglect, what neglect can do to the next generation. Because children supposed to be nurtured, seen, love, ask question, health, comfort, and provide for. But oftentimes, as parents, we tend to just, like you said, keep going on the grind, just providing to keep the lights on and the roof on the head. And and I will say we because there was a time I was also on that in that rat race, let's call it like that, that we stopped parenting, or as a matter of fact, not even parenting. We don't even know what it is to parent. We are constantly in survival mode. And the truth of the matter is, for someone watching me tonight, if you're in that space right now in your life and you have children that are looking up to you and you're just constantly going just to provide and you don't spend quality time with your children, find out who they are spending time with, where they at. Because if that could have been one of your dynamics, it could avoid a lot of stuff that you've been through. just being in survival mode. So the parent in survival mode and the child also in survival mode. To be seen and longing of stuff, and anything can go wrong. So in this scenario, we can identify that all came from either dysfunctional home, abuse, alcohol, parents that were not present, because not that they didn't love the children, it's just that they rather do all what they do to be able to give bread, cheese to provide. Do you agree with me?
Yes, but you gotta acknowledge the fact too that a lot of the guys or girls from my generation was like half of them didn't even come out of broken homes.
They do not. Okay.
When you think about it, they always had at least one or two in the bunch that never went to sleep hungry.
Okay. Gotcha.
Had freshest school clothes, freshest school
Gotcha.
shoes, most games,
Mm-hmm.
jewelry, young
Had
age.
any everything that the
Eh,
others didn't.
So it's like at times you would question like,
What you doing
why
here?
you here with me though? Like, why are you here? But that's like you would think in your own mind, like, well, okay, but
You have
you
everything.
everything like God, what you had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you would think is me that going to chill with that person, thinking like, okay, I'm gonna cling on to them because that's the kind of life I want to live.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
other way around. That person cling on to us like you want to live like us, dude. We're in poverty right now.
My
Understand?
goodness.
I go in school with the same school shoes for the last 3 years now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta keep it
Yeah.
neat because
For the fourth year.
then after I make 13, my mother was like, look now, gifts
Mm.
done now.
Oh.
Yeah, I out packing bags
Mm.
from then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that taught you to hustle and survive at a very young age to sustain for yourself.
Yeah.
And what made it even worse when it comes to like food, home or something, I couldn't really touch it because the stepfather didn't have a good relationship.
Mm.
And I end up trickling down to my little brother as well. So now
Mm.
I am out packing bags at the young age to provide for me and my little brother
Yeah.
because we can't eat what's at home because he purchased it. So what else I was supposed to do?
Yeah.
I I making 37 years old today. I don't know who my father is then.
Wow. I'm sorry that you
I
had to
I
experience all of that.
I mean it is what it is today. You know, I come to the conclusion like this. If we meet, we meet. If we don't, we don't.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? I didn't had somebody there to show me how to be a man. So I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
I learned from both sides of life though. From young age, I know what that's like. I know what it feels like coming up in Dutch Quarter or St. Peter's
Yeah.
or KB. I know what it feels like I know what it feels like running around without shoes, not to
Mm-hmm.
eat 2, 3 days sometimes on the road because now you ain't even bothering with home no more. It's like, okay, what we eating next on the road now? You
Yeah.
know, so it became a party. You're like, okay, this is my family. Outside here
Yeah.
is my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. It became normal.
It became annoying to me. Hey, we can get together, we can patch up today. Who bring macaroni, who bring spaghetti, who bring chicken, who bring ribs, and we down in the bush and we cook it.
Wow.
We
And so you will say a few districts on the island have the same or had it?
the same. They all have the same. Every one of us go through the same thing,
Mm.
and we just see through a different lens.
Yeah.
We live in the same world, or in the same on the same planet, I should
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
but we live
Just
in
to
different
survive.
worlds.
Yeah. Just
You
to
know,
survive.
I don't know what your reality is when you leave here. You don't know what mine is.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and that's how it is outside there right now.
Yeah.
Kids don't know what they want to do. There is no plan, no direction. The only thing they seek is validation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going
Yeah.
good.
And you said it very powerfully, validation, which we call the neglect. And that was the same dynamic between the one that had all the PlayStation, all the food, all the stuff, to those of you that didn't have. It's just a sense of being part of, being seen. And neglect can really distort someone's identity.
But it's not just neglect alone. That plays a major role, but it also comes down to peer pressure.
Oh,
That plays a vital role. And as you get older, you start to understand what it really meant, because then you could look back at your life like, I was like pressured into doing some of these things without me even knowing. I thought I was just going along with the trend. You understand? But
mm-hmm.
it's the responses you get when you decide
You pull
not to
back.
do
Yeah,
something. Like, why what you doing? Why you moving like that? Use a this and that, use it. You don't want to hear that, or you don't want somebody else around you to hear like, why you moving like, you know?
yeah,
So, you know what, I ain't there for you. I going.
yeah. But if you were not part of it, if you were not on the street hanging with them, you wouldn't feel that pressure. Correct?
No, but then where else would I be? Because the safe space that I was supposed to call home
Yeah,
wasn't safe for me,
yeah, yeah.
you know? So I
Got
went
you.
into a dangerous environment and it
Hoping.
became safe for me,
Yeah, yeah,
but not realizing where we was headed,
yeah.
you know?
So we're talking now about a young man that was not felt safe at home, was neglect just basic need, which is just food, to a young man that decided, let me go hang out with a group of boys that we all kind of have the same stuff. Right? We feel the same pain, and we'll be able to cope. Now, what was the first day? How it felt the day that somebody came with the idea of, mm, let's go and rob or just take. What how that felt? Can you
You
remember
gotta,
how was that journey that you just went along the first time without noticing, oh, I think it's wrong.
you gotta go back far,
Okay,
very far. You gotta go back into the depths of elementary school.
okay,
Probably you went with the first glue or eraser or
okay.
pencil, and that seed alone
Yeah, yeah.
of not getting caught, it might not mean anything to you at the time, or you might not realize it, but it
It's
starts from there.
this is deep, yeah.
From going with pens and pencils and nobody realizing that, you go out with it, it was like, you have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you, over time, you don't do it constantly,
Yeah.
but over time it starts to become like a norm for you. Not saying that that's what you do on a daily basis,
Yeah,
but
same.
then just knowing the fact that I could probably go with that and nobody would
Yeah.
know.
Especially if I didn't have, I needed it, I took it, now I have it.
And that's the difference, because they got those that would just instantly just do it because they know they can't do it. But there's those who do it because they actually need
Need
it,
it. Yeah.
because they wanted it.
Yeah.
They need it. It's for their survival.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not saying it's a pen or
This is
pencil, but
this is
when it
deep.
comes to food, or if you probably your man went and robbed the Chinese shop back in the day, he did it to feed someone at home. Nowadays, you rob the Chinese shop for validation, because y- you go rob a shop knowing everything is digitized nowadays. Anything you do,
You see you.
a camera out, click of a button. The next few days, you in cuffs. Make it make
What,
sense.
yeah, what
Like,
gonna make you do that?
you see it over and over. You scroll through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook every day. See it happen. Crime happen. For instance, guys running through restore gun. Not even a real gun, but the hand shaped like a gun. Few days later, man in jail. Like,
Make it make sense. Yes, you will be
they
fine.
are always. But who's going to show up?
Yeah.
Because everybody busy being in survival mode.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So who's going to show up?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Who's gonna be the role model? So now we have Lexi today that been through it, felt it, and it started with little things just to be able to satisfy a need or the actual need that you have. Now, before I ask you this next question, I want to go now deeper into the day you got arrested, how it felt when you suddenly realize you can't get caught and now I'm doomed. What was that emotion? Where were your thoughts? You thought of your mom. Let's go back to that emotion because sometimes we think about acts, but we don't think about the real human behind the act.
November 5th,
Oh wow,
2010.
you remember clearly.
You gotta go back October 16, 2010.
Okay.
The night that incident happened with the tourists in Maho, I know the path was set. There was no turning back, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
I had the options to leave. I didn't take it, and I stayed. I had a few days prior before my arrest. I started to think um at the time that day, let's start, afternoon. Got a phone call from a friend side, and it was like, hey, such and such such house being raided right now.
Mm.
And from the time we hear that, we know exactly where all the stuff was. So now, police coming now. We split apart, and if there's one thing I never did was put all my eggs in one basket when it comes to loot, I should say. When all, I should say bluntly, when shit hit the fan, who can clean it? So
Mm.
when they decided to leave me behind,
Mm.
because the plan was to get off the island.
Okay.
When they got some stuff together, and come to find out, I'm calling to find out where my other two compadres is. Come to find out, we done on a boat going St. Kitts,
Oh,
and I got stuck here on the island. It's a good thing I put some stuff aside. Say, you know what? My name hasn't been called as yet, but in case of anything, you know what? Let me just leave. I went Saber. And now we're going into November 5th. So my guy was like, yo, if anything, your name ain't called on here, but on the safe side, come check me. Like stay by me or whatever the case may be, just in case that they blow over. All right, cool. At the time, I had no passport, so I couldn't go nowhere else. Just travel on my ID card. So I left and I went to Sabre and had a few days there. No, actually, I had a few weeks there
okay.
because 16th,
Yeah, yeah.
so I had a few weeks there,
Yeah, we saw.
and to the point where I was on the verge of getting a job over there, like working with a cable company, working up lines and stuff. So I was like, okay, I might just be here for a while. I'm accustomed. I was going back and forth either way, you know. But in my head now, I know, say Martin had I calling every day, hey Ma, anybody come to the house looking for me? If it's one thing I did, I never brought nothing home.
Okay.
I never brought nothing of or stolen goods or whatever in my mom's house. You know, goal was get rid of everything fast. Anywho, Saber, that day, November 5th, that was my mom's birthday. And that was the last day I was outside. I remember my little brother calling me. I was like, yo, bro, when you come back, bring well, you wanted the marijuana leaf earrings, diamonds in them.
Yeah.
I was like, "Right, I'm bringing them for you when I come back." Not knowing that, and I just sat on the porch after that phone call, and I save a quiet, just listen to the breeze, watching the trees move. I watched everything now that I could look back at it, and it was like taking this image now, because you only see it again for a very long time. Now that I could look back at it, that's that feeling what I had on the porch
The
that day. I could
emotion, yeah.
that, and I was like, you know what, today peaceful, like, and I just went along, went to work, went up on top of the hill, went up the line. The guy I was staying with was up on the line, and I was listening to. I guess I can remember like yesterday. I was listening to Biggie Smalls. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. I'm a bad boy. You know, and something tell me just like this. I was sitting. Something tell me just hold up my head, and I do so. And I see the police truck come up, stop right in front of me, like almost hit me. And I was like, I just take out my headphones and start to wrap up my phone.
Because you knew it was, this is it.
Officer come out. Please don't move. We have a warrant for your arrest. And
That
the
was it.
guy I watch, he's like my older brother, basically. Um, and I watch him. He watched me. He was like, I was like, just went down the truck, got arrested, went down to the station. They actually before they came up to us, they actually went and broke in his house.
Oh,
So they kicked in his door off the hinges. Went to my bag, whatever jewelry, money I had there. Um, up on the hill, they bring me down to the station. They stopped the last winning flight to make sure I was on that flight to go back to Martin. And he's sitting next to me. He was watching him, and he watching me.
mm.
He just and I just like I just shake my head, and he nod
He understood.
instantly. He just stayed quiet, and then tell me, yeah, the plane waited, and I left. And that was the last time I see my boy. You know, going on the plane. I wasn't shackled or anything. You know, so if
How
anything,
old you were?
I had just made 20 at the time.
Okay.
You know, so going into plane, straight got my bag, and I just started to think like, okay, this is it. It's start now. Reach back to Martin, I walked through the airport, they didn't put no shackles on me or anything. Had my bag holding like normal. Sitting in the back of the car, I wasn't shackled. I was like, you got a warrant for my arrest, but I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reach inside. And man, that was a long 3 months in the police station.
Oh boy.
3 months
Of
in a cell
intimidation.
with like 9 people
Mhm.
in the cell with you. That's how congested it was at the time before they renovated the station. Have to walk, get up in the night and sleep over guys
Mhm. Mhm.
to go to the bathroom.
Mhm. Mhm.
Going to the bathroom, you got poop in a hole
Mhm.
because there's no toilet.
Mhm.
And you better hope you don't get backsplash because trust me, you will
Yeah.
get infected. You will get a boil.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how bad it was. You
Yeah.
have to tie a sock onto the pipe
Mhm.
for the shower,
Mhm.
catch the rusty water.
Mhm.
Now tell me, why would you want to trade your freedom to do that?
For that. Yeah. Yeah.
No, we didn't know because there was no one to tell us, hey, that's not where you want
Yeah.
to go or where you're
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the time when those come out, it was like they got the recognition that they got is like you wanted that too. And it got stronger and stronger every year that goes by. Because right now, if you don't got a T-Max or a Gucci chain, you need nothing.
Hmm. Another form of pressure.
And it's not really pressure. Is that's the image to show that okay, I am in things. Not really because that's what you want to, but I'm saying certain people, they know that that's not their lifestyle. You know for a fact in your heart that that's not how you want to live or how you're supposed to live. But because the circle that's around you or your environment, I should say,
Mhm.
it predicts something onto you and you're supposed to run with it because there was no side view person. Hey,
To direct.
leave that, go
Yeah.
this path instead.
Yeah.
But not just to talk to you, but the consistency and making sure
Mhm.
you don't go back on that road after I tell you no.
Yeah.
Stay there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of people that say, yeah, let's talk to these children, how to do that. You talking is one thing, but actually breaking it down, explaining it,
And
and
guiding.
guiding them through the
Guiding.
process,
Yeah.
and then showing them exactly know which path you would have taken if you had, decide to go the route you wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of that working at Ujima and dealing with kids
Yeah.
9 to 12 years old, you know, and I realized prison like showed me that I learned a lot of patience because to deal with multiple kids 6 days a week on different shifts,
Mm.
I don't have kids of my own, but
Yeah.
I definitely knew how parents felt. I could, and I started to think back like, "Man, what are 5 of us
Yeah. Just
to
for the
deal
women.
with
Plus working, plus
plus
washing,
work?"
cooking, cleaning. Mm-hmm.
So I got a glimpse of my younger past
Mm-hmm.
dealing, but I've also learned how to deal with them and how to have patience and the actual steps you have to take in navigating through that child's trauma.
Yeah.
You understand? We need a lot more of that with the generation we got coming up now
That's right.
because they would do things to themselves and you wouldn't even know because you don't have the time to listen.
Because we so
5 minutes, 10
yeah.
minutes, 15 minutes. Hey, open the bedroom door, check on your child, make sure
Mm-hmm.
they're there.
Check
Hey,
to
how
this
was
and
your
that.
day?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that in,
Can make a big difference, huge difference. Yeah.
hey, I ain't see you for the day. What you do? Even if you talk to me for 2 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
that little thing makes child feel
Seen.
appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you good? You eat, bed, you this, you that. What you want to do? What you want to eat?
He was.
What you do today?
Mm-hmm.
Cost a little bit, and then even if you get cost a little bit, I
Still
still
feel.
appreciate that interaction
Yeah.
with you.
You care
You
someone.
understand? At times, I realize my mom stopped cussing me. It's like how it used to happen. My stepfather used to complain and then complain to her so that I could get licks. And then it comes to a point where he can complain. She realized the licks ain't doing me nothing, and then she just stopped complaining. Well, not complaining, but start like reprimanding me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I got more leeway now for me to be outside on the road
To
now.
keep
I was
doing.
like, hey, now we fully outside.
Yeah. Perhaps she got tired.
They get, of course, they do get tired. They're already tired.
Yeah.
They're
Yes. I
already
know it.
tired. So imagine having to deal with that on a daily basis, and
Yeah.
then you have to wake up the
Yeah.
next morning to go deal
Yeah.
with somebody else stressed
Yeah.
for 8 hours.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll be able to cover all the discussion I would like to have with you, Lexi, but this is where I want to go. Hopefully, we do have time for these two important questions. This one, this is to help break the false identity of the male figure. I always tell people if you don't know God, you won't be able to know who you are as a man or as a human being. So, right now, we are seeing this generation of, it has to do a lot like you kept saying, there's nobody guiding that having a fancy car, a fancy bike, a chain, You said T Max or whatever. I don't know those things, but you mentioned a
It's a
shoes
bike
and
in
thing.
here.
And oh, it's a bike.
Yeah, it's a
It's a
bike.
bike. Oh, I thought it's a shoe. Sorry about that. But all these things, and that makes you man. That makes you someone of value
In today's society,
in this
yes.
society. Why is that? Could it be entertainment because of what we're seeing on these musical videos and stuff like that? Where could have because yes, you were in the home, things were not good, you went on the street. What happened that makes someone that to be able to be seen or value? I need to have all these things. What is the conversation? I'm trying to understand why the boys, male, have this issue of identifying themselves with to feel.
Simple. It's the programming. Let me put it like this.
Mhm.
Their new parents show them exactly what to be like.
Okay,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, those that we hang out with, those oh,
The
okay.
new parents show them
This
exactly
is deep. This is deep.
what and how
Entertainment.
to be
Yeah.
like. Not just the entertainment, it's in everything. They make it look like to the point where this is how you have to live in order for society to accept you.
To determine if you're success. So you're not successful if you don't have the how you call it again, the T
The
Max,
Max,
the
the Gucci. But
Gucci.
no, that's just a style.
Okay, okay,
That's just a style.
okay,
But if you're talking about being successful, they have another depiction of success.
okay.
Their success is the same big chain, but now the ones with the diamonds, they want to protect the rollies, the bust downs, you know.
Okay. I don't know what it is, but it's some big. It's some
Yes,
okay.
there's $1 million jewelry, want a big house, they want a big car, they want, but they show you these things online, but half of the time you don't know same in-depth stories that that person had to go through
Mm,
to have what they have today.
yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
And they brought the story to the fact where like, oh, the goal was we can make some money. Everybody dream was buy mama a big house, pay all the bills, make sure mama ain't working no more. What happened to that dream?
Wow.
Now is we
Right.
can stay in our mother house,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna pay no bills,
Yeah.
and we ain't gonna find no job.
Yeah.
But if I want something, hey mommy, they buy get 50 now. Hey, I see these bags, I see these shoes, but what are you doing for it? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but then again, the parents so caught up is like, you don't have time. Look, here, get off my back. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, no matter what I do now, I can just keep nagging and she just give it to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to be nagged, they're tired. It all goes back to the same thing over and over.
Mm-hmm.
With the men, a lot of us ain't had no kind of male figures growing up. A lot of men today was raised by women. A lot of men today was raised by women and grew up with women tendencies. Whether you want to admit it or not, how did I say? Women is think emotionally and men is think
Yeah.
no, men think emotionally like off the map. And when you see this, like,
Mm.
why you just react that way? Now that you have a clear understanding, when you really do like research on yourself, or you start to look back and reflect on your life and look at everything that was revolving around, you start to look at everything from another perspective. Like, we really need male figures in back in our society, because
It's needed. Yeah.
the ones that are coming up now, the ones that going to come after, going to look at
Very
them
weak.
and just follow the same thing
Yeah. Very
they're
weak.
doing. If, if we get to save at least 10, that's a win.
Yeah.
You get to save one, that's a win. But at the end of the day, we can't depend on the system or government, I should say, to help.
Fix it.
Exactly. The system is everyone as a collective.
Community.
Exactly. If we could all find money to go booyah night and enjoy somebody else's music and culture and it's like how we said the Niger Wyatt and they went to Grenada and the after games.
Okay. Okay.
That day, I don't know, it's still played back to me because when I filmed them that day, I was going in Carrick for garlic bread.
Mm.
So I saw them and I was like, hey, what you doing? Like, what you selling? I thought they were selling because I try to,
Support.
support whatever, if they're selling coconuts, buy from whatever. I was like, yeah, they got medals, they're trying to get donations to go to the games, and not gonna call anyone's name, but me and a certain politician was walking in at the same time. When I stopped and talked to them, just continue walking straight. They didn't even acknowledge the kids, and
Mm.
within they're trying to get donations and funding, and within what 3 days they had like more than 10,000 views. People start calling, hey, how we could donate to them and what, and
Nice.
then next thing you know, they tell me, hey, get a message, tell the guy we're going. I was like, wow, I remember
That's how we be a role model. Little
little thing.
things.
I even getting carried
Emotional,
about it.
yeah.
That little thing alone.
He can never forget. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I ain't saying it's me. Send them there.
Mm-hmm.
If we just take the time,
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what you selling? Even if you don't buy nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but show them that hey, somebody's watching,
Yeah.
somebody paying attention.
Yeah.
Seeing something happen on the road and just pulling out your phone,
Mm.
and then in the video you ball, but you stop it now, but you filming. Like,
Yeah.
make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
How it's actually supposed to stop because you telling the next person stop, but they're busy filming too.
Yeah.
So now probably two young girls or two young boys on the ground rooting each other up until some sensitive, way older adult come in separate it. It's always some old person that come and
Yeah.
separate the fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always. Every video you watch nowadays, always some older person come and separating.
Yeah. Something went definitely wrong somewhere.
Who going post and get first few views, the
Mm-hmm.
first few likes?
Yeah. Yeah. About following his likes and hearts and stars and
Look, right. Let me just say this now. The likes and the views,
mm,
and you keep the lights on and your fuse.
that's right.
There are ways you can utilize it to your advantage if you take the correct courses or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you learn to do media,
Yeah.
um, whatever. What they want to do nowadays, social media influencer.
Influencers, yeah.
They think it's just, oh, we film in and take a no, sir. You
Serious
know the
work
kind of
behind
daily work you gotta, the
serious work.
script, the writing,
Mm-hmm.
the this, the that,
Yeah.
hours before that video could come out.
Yeah. Serious work. And we fail to realize that.
So don't just focus on the likes and views. You can have that as a hobby or whatever the case may be, but create a plan where you know you have something to fall back on because
That's right.
society is moving forward at a rapid rate, and a lot of the generation of today is going to get left behind. So why I said that is because of the technology that's out there today.
Yeah.
They're using it, but they don't take the time to learn what they're actually using and how it could actually benefit their lives or better their lives, but they use it for the wrong reasons.
Yes. Yeah. Agree with you.
So don't focus on that. Have a fallback plan. Something you know, hey, 5 years from now, AI can't take my job.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
I could tell you today, 5, 10 years from now, you can still be cleaning couches. AI can't take that
No,
from me.
there's certain things AI can. No, that's right. That's right.
AI, maybe you may got a robotic car wash, but for that convenience, you would rather pay me to come by your house and wash your car than
Yeah,
you get up and have to drive and deal with people on the road and deal with traffic and the hot sun and wasting gas and you pay for that convenience
yeah,
instead.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you ain't gonna
yeah.
take that for sure.
Before we close, I will have to bring you back because there's some stuff
Hmm.
we didn't get to go through. But for those of you watching, we have my brother Lexi. Went in as a boy, came out as a man from prison, had many experiences, and oftentimes we fail to realize what was happening inside, behind the doors, and nobody knew, understood, or stepped in as a role model to be able to break it. So many more don't fall through these cracks. But Lexi, before we close, what is breaking the cycle to you? If you want to, summarize it quickly before we close, especially with your journey in prison, a lot of years, and then came out. What is breaking the cycle for you?
Breaking the cycle for me, I would put it this way. Everything that I went through it so that I could see myself at this point going through it. And when I look back now, I realize I had to go through that.
Mhm.
I had to go through that pain and suffering day in and day out for me to realize what I did to myself. Because at the end of the day, it's me put myself in that situation.
Yeah.
And it had to reach to a point where I had to realize only me can take me out of it. No one is obligated to help me. And like I said, my first 3 years was rough, but after that, I was like, you know what? It have to stop. I've watched countless guys go in, out, come back, see me, tell me when they come. Guys told me when they coming back, because they know exactly what to do to get like, what exact amount of time because there's nothing on the road to do. So all of that was like, you know what? We need to turn this around and reduce the recidivism rate
Mhm.
and actually give the generation or society what give them something to do and something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So, and when I started to think like that, and I was like, you know what? It's time for me to break the cycle now. Because it started with me.
Yeah,
And now that I realize and I can look back and say, hey,
that's right.
I was you.
That's right. That's how we break it.
Job now is to create
Yeah,
more of us because now I'm gonna start mentoring and
that's right.
doing all I've never expected from a guy who was in stolen cars and driving on the tint and smoking a bunch of weed to mentoring kids,
Yeah,
talking in schools, being here with you today
that's right.
on the show. I was like, okay, I'm on to something. It wasn't for nothing,
Mm.
So if I could do it with me, I could definitely break more cycles
The next generation.
with the next generation. It's going to take some work, but we can do it as a collective.
That's right. So there we at it. Breaking the cycle, going through the pain and becoming someone to help someone out of the pain. This is Dr. Simply Ann with Breaking the Cycle. See you next week, 7 o'clock, as we continue breaking the cycle. Keep on standing. Your pain may have started the journey where you're at, but you have the power to break it. Good night.